All right, good morning. It's Michael with NCY Store. Let's go and check out our the camera cut off before I was going to able to show you how I finally electrical taped the pretty much the handlebar plastic there just to hold it for tonight. So it's been 24 hours, and we're going to also inspect to see how our JB Weld cure our handlebar and see if it actually stiffen it up. I don't think it might stiffen it up, but hopefully it locks the teeth in place, because I think what's really going to happen to make it stiff is probably see this bunch of wire here that we actually didn't got back in. I think that was actually tie strapped in there from the other end, so when they actually clamped on, it held the tie strap, but also put a little bit of reinforcement on this backing plate, which made the screw tighter. So that's why, even though it showed flush, it's still not really tightened. It's still kind of loose. But let's check it out, see how the JB Weld actually held up to the test. So I'm gonna give it a tug forward and backwards. Holy shit, it's pretty stiff to me. But we're still wanting to take it off because I actually want to get the tie strap on there. So what we'll probably do, we might not even have to take out the brakes. However, what we will have to take off, we won't be able to take off this back area. We can inspect it somehow. But we would definitely want to take all the front cover off, because in that front cover, again, we want to go and get a tie strap in there and get a little, you know, black tie strap, the little one, and be able to tie that whole plastic housing shield here inside here. So we're gonna have to pretty much leave this out, push it in a little bit, the wires, and then do a tie strap on there. And let's go and check out our creation here. This is what I came up with to hold it for 24 hours. You can see inside here, it's pretty much flushed. You know, I don't feel, you know, you can still tell that there's a brake line groove here, but it feels like there's a bump more, an over bump on both sides. So it looks like it actually has an even coat of, what do you call that, super glue. Now, if that doesn't work, we have adhesive glue too, but more than likely, we're not going to get away with the ugly paint, so we might have to fix that as well. I believe this is the other crack too, right? We did? Or did we? Yeah, we think we did that one. Yep. So we glued it here. And let's see how that one's holding. And I did try to rub it off. Got a bit of the chip paint here and there. So we got to carefully sand it and see if we can get it with another dose of coat of paint. And then... here we go. I sprayed with WD-40, but I should have took a shop rag and kind of cleaned out a little bit more to get the thread out loosened, but it's okay. It's clean as it is now. And we might loosen this guy too. Maybe we can even get the mirror to not shift shape too much. See this? This still has a little bit wobble. Let's see if I can show you. See that? It still has a little bit wobble. However, this one here that we did the JB Weld on, let's see if it wobbles just slightly. Oh, it's not wobbling anywhere. See that? So we might actually put, if this thing works well and the cover closes, and this is the right setting for it, we'll do another JB Weld in this one as well, and let this one cure for 24 hours before we start setting up the cup holder and everything, which I'm very much looking forward to. But let's go and do a dry fit and see if this actually will close back with the clamp. So let's check this one out. I hate to keep moving my plastic pieces around, but I have no choice. I try to put it in here to protect it. So let's go ahead and put this guy on there. We're not going to unravel this yet. We'll probably wait till the very end or so. But we want to make sure that this, see this one right here? It has a few scratches on the white, but we kept this in pretty fair condition other than the little chip area. See, it fits only this way. And again, it doesn't really make to use well the groove, unfortunately. So we're going to have to flex this and see if it, see right there, there we go. This thing's going here. Kind of squish. I believe this is the one that might have triggered the cause. You can see here, this needs to go in, and unfortunately it's not going in yet because there's duct tape in here, of course. But yeah, it would sit right in here. So let's go and take the duct tape off now and let's see how the condition of this hold up. I was told that super glue might not be the best. For one thing, it eats the paint up. There's some kind of a chemical reaction to the paint, which we can see for ourselves here, you know. But we're going to try to see. I got a little bit of grit of sandpaper. We can try to see if we can scrape some off and just maybe dab it with another coat of black paint. I got some products here. Let's check it out. I went to Lowe's real quick this morning. And let's see if we can get, there you go. I got some 800 or 600 grit sandpaper. This might do the well of smoothing it out. And then maybe we'll hit it with, first of all, scrape the harder area with the 150. Pretty much the lower the number, the more grit it is, the higher the number. This is like you're printing DPI, right? You know, the higher resolution is going to be more finer pixels. So you can see here is much more gritter. So just remember that when you think about grit of sandpaper. So 150 will probably give you a little bit higher. And then for 600, it's going to give you closer to about a little bit more finer. But let's just see how this goes. So this is pretty much what I got here from, because I guess my brother used all my enamel spray. He's the one in shorts right there. You can see picking the vegetables. We'll try to find out what we can do. Now this is also the proxy here for gluing, bonding plastic together. If we ever need to use that one, this was made like mainly for plastic. It dries up in 20 minutes. It plastic bonds or fuses plastic. And then we get some of the bolts again from, you know, what we're going to do. Let's just see if that, I don't know how to pronounce it again, like Kayaki or something like that. It's spelled, I think it's K-A-Y Yaki or something like that. Anyway, APM knows more about that than I do. It's for high-end, mostly high-end motorcycles and stuff like that. They can use it for to clamp, especially Harleys and stuff. What they do is they take that little P-clamp. They'll clamp it somewhere like right here for this size. Maybe the Harley is pretty big. They'll use that and then they'll be able to attach their, you know, turn signals or something. But what we're doing, we're reverse engineering it literally. And we're going to use that P-clamp to pretty much fix our end right here. So we're taking on the 7/8 rear bar here instead of the front bar to do anything with that one. So we'll find out how that one goes. So in the meantime, let's go and get this guy off of here. Make sure nothing's scraping. Push to the side, put a towel underneath it. But my objective is to get everything working properly. But yeah, I really like the fact that we'll remove it and we'll actually inspect it to see how really the JB weld held up or not. Let me get this guy off of here. So let's check this out. All right, so this one we're gonna need to remove first. I hate leaving these guys hanging. And then another thing here is we might be able to fix this guy too. So what we'll do with this one, you can see how it comes loose. How it shifts itself because this guy's loose really. He's not doing any hold for us, right? We might be able to squeeze a little bit, that little metal, what do you call it? Remember again, that little metal? Here, I'll show you. Instead of talking about it. Less talking, more doing, right? What we're gonna do is when we take it off again, we don't have to do it right now, but I'll use one of these ones, the brand new ones, that way because it's more closure. More closure. Let's see here. Let me open it real quick. Set this guy aside. Here, I'll just use this one. That way you guys can see the example. I think there's a new one fell in here. There we go. So I'll use a new one like this. And I believe we can get to the other side. We might have to use a little longer Phillips, but so worth it because you can see here, without that, this one guy is not really going down. He's leaving a huge gap here. And we even did silicone on there, but unfortunately, I think this guy was loose and this guy might have been loose also. So what we're going to do is we're going to unscrew this, put this underneath it. How are we going to get to this plate without opening this whole back huge belly? I think we have a chance of getting it through here when we take this guy off. I think our hands will reach enough to be able to fish this underneath the plastic. And when this screws in, this will help reinforce it and tighten the plastic upward or tighten this downward. Pretty much is the idea to get this guy downward. This guy right here might be a situation the same. We might have to replace him with a new bolt because he's not really probably locking in as much as we think he is. So you can see here the bulging part. But let's see if his thread is still even exposed on the bottom end, because that might be another concern. So a little fix up here to see what happens. And we haven't even took it out for, now you can't tell because again it's covered. So I don't think we can be able to inspect him now. But he's not too much of a concern. This one here is shifted before, so I think this was a problem prior, before us even working on it. So I knew it was going to happen. But it's good though, most of it is still solid in there. And then we'll start lining these guys up, putting little these guys here as well. Because we need to make sure this actually gets mounted before we decide to bolt it in. Now this guy came loose. We can pop him back in. Let's see if I can bring him forward. Bring him forward, let him slide in, and let him ride back out. And we have to bolt this guy. We're not putting it on right now because we're just testing everything out. Like how the wire looks like that. It looks pretty aggressive. Little ground wires exposed on this side so we can actually see our ground wires. I don't know. Be able to cut it or something. Gotta be careful with that one. Let's go ahead and unravel the tape here and see what's going on with that first. I know a lot of things going on today, and I really like the fact that what JB Weld did for us, but there's no point in making sure that actually stays there. And in fact, it looked like it's even tilted a little bit further for us too right here. So if we need to, we can remount this as well. If you look at, let's see the brake handle, a little better lighting now. If you look at the brake handle, you can't tell really how slanted it is. I'm not even sure a balancer will help us, but we'll see. Let's get an eye visual of it. Does this, which is pretty much on our right side right now, but our left, it looks a little bit more slanted for us, huh? And that's a good thing, because when you put the mirror in here, it's going to go up more, which is what we're trying to get. Our main goal was to actually do it like this way. This is perfect. But however, we want to make sure, you can see here, our only problem is though, this can only go far so back before it hits this guy right here. See that? I think it's already hit him already, right? We can't move, no, we can move him a little back more. So we can move this guy a little bit back more. And if we were to take this apart, I'm probably going to unravel the throttle cable and take this off and do a really nice sanding and painting of this, because I'm not too pleased with the results. I mean, especially even if it tied it and it looks like this, you know what I mean? We might as well just hit it with some, you know, this one here. It's all in one. I try to do things a little faster. It's gloss black, which is the same. Different, same brand, Carla, but it's not the enamel spray anymore. It's just a gloss black. And we'll also take that one, just to remind myself here. I got taken and maybe spray in a little cloth and dab it in this area that we couldn't get. And, you know, I can just probably do that lightly. Anything that I might see that, you know, this is just nothing. It's just like enamel or something. Okay, so let me go ahead and even probably get a little coat of this guy on there as well. And if we get really good and we're in our final touches, we'll save that can, of course. And we could probably dabble the screws that we want to be black as well. But for right now, let's go ahead and unravel this and see how it held up. So here we go. You know, I was speaking to APM Scootering, how he was able to unravel the Chinese wire harness from all this electrical tape. He said it was very simple. He just took one in, and the rest pretty much, after he broke that one in, the whole front, it just pretty much unraveled itself. So it looked like it only tied it. It wasn't sticky at all. He said it was just like, it was easy. When he unraveled, that thing just looked like it was going to want to come off anyway. So yeah, so he put some really nice Tex Flex material, which I hope to be able to do that one day. I always joke with him. I say, dude, it looked like Spider-Man just grafted his whole skin in your scooter, because it looks like it's a really nice Spider-Man red costume kind of integrated with his wiring harness. Just did a really phenomenal job. I'm totally impressed by his workmanship on that one. So you guys gotta check out his scooter channel, APM Scootering. Recommend it. Very knowledgeable on wiring, and especially because he's been in the industry for so long. There we go, almost there. Getting to the final curtain call here. I know it's like a mummy, you're trying to unravel him, right? Like that movie Mummy or something. We can take this out eventually, but let's just leave it in there for right now. Again, it takes 24 hours to really cure, or even maybe 48 hours if you're looking at a high tolerance area. So I'm peeling this guy slowly. I think we continued on from here. No, I think it went the other way now. All right, so let me try to sort of break it off. Don't want to have a whole bunch of duct tape all over the place. Yeah, so I was very disappointed how this thing was totally cracked, and I was disappointed yesterday again with this one, but I'm glad now it actually kept his word. Look at that. Look at that. So it's amazing. It's more than this one that didn't have it. Look at that. See, that one has a little slight. So you can see it here from where I'm rocking it. This is not much slack, but this is at no slack. So we went from a lot of slack on this one before to now way better. It's more stiff. I mean, it's just solid there. I'm not even sure we can remove the back plate, to be honest with you. It might actually even JB welded in there, but if it did, still no problem. We're not needing to get into the back of the diamond. As long as this guy here fits. The only thing I'm worried about when we put that top cover, hope this clear. I believe this will clear now because we pushed this all the way back, and this was always been this way, so it's actually flush as far as it can go. So there shouldn't be no excuse, but however, we still have to take it off because we want to get our tie strap to wrap that harness again. And you'll see how I get that done in a little bit. But in the meantime, let me keep on trying to remove all this electrical tape. Yeah, so I think I kind of winded up maybe a couple more minutes after the video ended, because I guess due to storage, not battery. Huh. Might have to cut it because I think it's sort of wedged and locked itself in there. So let me go and just get a pair of scissors and cut this guy or whatever. I think there's a scissor here. You hear that snap? Pretty much tight. That's where I wanted it. Oh, there goes our first sign. Yeah, it's not bad. It still has a little bit of gouge. So we'll see. We'll see if we have to use that epoxy plastic glue or not. But if it did its job, we shouldn't have to worry about a little bit of tug. That's what I'm doing here. You can see here I'm tugging it. You can see a little bit of the paint came off right away. The little duct tape did us a number there. But then the super glue also. You can see here, it's actually, it's level, but I can still feel a bump where it's not perfect. So a little sanding wouldn't hurt there. And again, we'll touch it up with some nice paint. And I'm going to try to pull it apart, because it's better for us to know now than later. Once we can always fix that later, but let's see. It's pretty damn strong. Yeah, it's pretty strong. It looks like it's one solid piece now. The floor does show a bump. It could go down a little bit more. It does look like it's been super glued. I'm not doubting that for a fact. Let's see what else we could have done. So, I mean, that's already on there. I mean, it would say it was a trip from not having to take it off. I could probably cover it and then hit it with, or just take a little towel and dab it or something instead of taking the whole thing and spray it on. We'll see how it works out. I mean, because I know that if I do take it all the way off, I'm not going to do any more better for it, because I'm not a really pro painter or anything like that. But I could take some sandpaper, smoothen this out, prepare it for a nice sand. So we'll probably do that on our way out when we actually pull the scooter out and stuff. So yeah, it didn't look too shabby. Check it out. Take a little zoom in there. Put some pressure there for you to see. So it looks like it's staying stabilized. Now another concern I had was, I guess this guy right here, he might be forcing something. I think there was a light little scratch here as well or something like that. It looked like it's about to have a breaking point. So we'll investigate that as well. Or was it on this side? I know one or the other. Oh, here it goes. I could feel it. Yeah, it looks like it wants to break off. I think it's from this guy right here. He looked like he's being yanked maybe forward or backward or something with this guy. But yeah, I feel like there's a breaking point here. So let's investigate that real quick. See if that's going to start protruding. Oh yeah, look at that one right there. You can see that one? Now, it's kind of hidden a little bit, but you can see here those sharp daggers forming. So maybe if we take it off, I can sort of wedge it and maybe drip a little bit, some of that super glue again on there and really get this. So we might want to take it off and finalize it. But before we do that, let's go and test our cap to make sure it actually closes well or not. So here we go. Very cool, huh? Alright, so now we're going to come in from the back. See, this part, this has a little bit of that red one too. The other one should have as well, but we're just doing a dry fit for right now to make sure everything can scoot in properly. And then we're probably going to unscrew everything and take it off and JB weld this guy as well. See, it looked like we could tilt him backward a little bit too, even his. But even though these guys are leveled, I might want to keep the master brake caliper at that certain position. You see here, they're perfectly leveled to where they're supposed to be. Gosh darn it, these things scratch easily, don't they? Look at that one. Unbelievable. This is supposedly brand new. But you can see here how it scratches so freaking easy. Okay. Oh look, I'm almost sliding it in. I'm pushing down on it. You can see here the back. It's almost going in. Look at that. Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful. Now the reason why I'm doing this now is so I don't regret it afterwards when we actually JB weld this back plate as well on there. Because once we do that, it's pretty much done deal. Now you can see here where the broken part is. It doesn't look like it will, well, it affects a little bit of this clamping capability. But the main thing is really holding it is this back here. There's two of them. and there's another one back here, and then they have the one insert here right in there. So right in there. So it looks like it's not going to be a problem closing, but let's go and screw it in to really find out for sure. See, this before was crushed. I don't know why it would actually affect this guy, because he doesn't seem like he has a problem anymore. But you can see here, I think if we sanded this down right here, we would have relieved that joint pressure maybe. So maybe we could do that when we take it off again. Sand a little bit of this guy off of here so he's not being pressured here. I think that's what's causing him to squeeze so hard. But I think the idea of having this relieve a little bit too is better. Sorry, you guys can't see it, can you? You can see there the little piece of plastic. If we just sand it off parallel right here, this thing will probably move this way more for us, and it'll flush it a little bit better with this guy. But everything else seems like it's pretty much in harmony. This one's just not that bad too. But let's close it up and see if it actually closes and see if it causes any more kind of break or clack. We want to know that now until later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that little thread for this guy as well. Did I have my pocket earlier? No, I don't. So let's find out. And then it's going to take a little bit of the fatty ones. I believe the small ones that are going up here, there's going to be, yeah, these guys are smaller. You can see by the, well, they could be big ones too, but I think they're pretty small. So let's say, for instance, these back ones, preferably I want the green one. Let's take the green color. It's a little bit more darker color. Today is a pretty warm day. It's about 75 right now. So it's not too cold at all. And then I guess these guys can take the long green ones. There we go, got one long green one. And we have another one. But let's shove them up there and see if that actually would even fit in there. Maybe they won't, who knows. But I'll take it off. Gotta take it off first anyway. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and see if we can get this a little bit better resolution here. Let's see if I can get focus. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this back off anyway. Also get an idea if that little small screw would actually do a trick. So let me get this guy off carefully. They get wedged in there pretty good. There we go, just lift them straight up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and, it's very hard to make sure you don't hit the ground with this guy. They scratch very easy. There we go. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put this guy in here. You definitely want to lay him to the point where his bigger hole is coming outward like this, see? There you go, he goes in just nicely. Okay, we're gonna put the fatty in him here, both of them. There's two fatties. Okay, and then there's the small one here, which we're planning to put in through here. They're gonna come out locked through here, so that's just fine there. So this will work. There's another one for him right there. On the other color, it's kind of like a light white color because it's not fully painted inside, which is fine. Okay, so you can see here, this will probably take a small one. A big one will probably stretch it out even more, but I think it'll be fine with the small one here. Looks like it's good enough there to give him a lot of thread, but also grip him in. And so the fatty would work too, but I think for this case, because again, keep in mind, this one might not have a bigger fatty one, or it might. Let's see. Let me put this guy in here, and let me get a Phillips so we can actually thoroughly see what the dimensions like. I think this might be partially magnetized. If not, then oh, so be it. There we go. Niece is going to school now. There she is. Bye, Mop Mop.
Bye.
Love you. You're on truck though. There she is. She can probably walk to school. Alright, so anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to try to fit this guy in here. And you can see if it goes in or not. So here we go. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to poke it through. See that? So it would fit. I think if we put the fatty one, this is the only way you can really tell it. You could try them out. I mean, the fatty one will work too. It works in the worst we don't have a bolt, but since we have these small skinny one, there's no reason to stretch our plastic if we don't need to. But I'm going to put the fatty one, see if it'll actually slide in or not. the fatty one here. It's kind of, we have a lot more of these guys really, so we might want to just stick with the, see the difference between them. See, one's pretty fatter. Just got a fatter head as well as a fatter body. So let's see here if this one will work just fine. Okay, so we're gonna put this through here. Yeah, see, it won't even fit. The reason why it's, I mean, it'll fit, but you look at it, it'll shove in all the way, but if you look at it, it comes in crooked because that little area is not supporting the bigger fatty head. So that's not gonna work for us there. So let's check it out. We're gonna go ahead and start screwing them in. We got 2 here. We got 1 more here. And we should have another skinny one somewhere if I not misplaced. Oh, there it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this guy screwed in and see if there's any stress, which I should have watched out for before I started forcing it on there. Same thing here when you tighten these guys out. I did the same thing to this guy here. They're very tight, so I'm hoping that now the stress is fully balanced because it has so much areas to grip it and helping it. But this stress here, I guess it was flexing the cable. Looked like, you know, I think these brake cables, the bungee bolt might have put more pressure because they're pretty stiff, so they're not going to force to be flexible. So let's go and put these guys, make sure these guys are in here. And you can see where their slots are right there, right? From behind. Make sure they go in. Because if they don't sit properly, they're not going to push down. Okay, and then you got to watch out for these guys again. There's so many wig room here. In fact, this can be tilted a little bit more back. We'll see how that reacts. And if we do that, we'll have a possibility of getting ours. We might be able to even use the scooter mirror, which was made for, because it's so angled forward. Every time we ride, it looks downward from us. It didn't serve as a good purpose. So that might be fixed to that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy wigged in there. There he goes. He's wigged in. Hopefully I can see the metal screws. Sort of, I can see. Have to push down a little more. You guys can probably see too. Now you can't because it's the lighting here. There we go. So see if yeah, I can see it now. He's coming in, so I'll get that straightened out. You can see here I'm holding it firmly. This guy is already in there as well. Let's go and turn the steering a little bit. That way we can see this guy as well. See if he's protruding out. Yeah, you can barely see him though. See that? His metal rod's like, I'm not going all the way down yet. We'll find out. Now again, this is probably super glue because it's kind of shoved a little bit down. You can see every bit it counts, but you can see how tight this guy is already. He's pretty flushed here, right? And then this guy's flushed too, so it's kind of nice to see them both flushed like that. And then another main thing is to see if this guy would close his lip. So what we have to do is give him a little bit over and so that's why these things probably have to glue so perfect. See, the lip here is not, it's not yet aligning. So this lip is not sinking in yet. See, but we'll see how this one goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start bolting them on. So let's get these guys here screwed in. We're gonna try to do our best, get one at a time. So let's go and get the fatty one. Now when you poke it, you want to make sure you poke it where it can see the metal protruding. If it's not, you're not getting the metal, you're in trouble there. See, I see the metal coming down barely. So let me get that screwed in. You guys can hopefully watch me from here, I guess. Okay, so what I'm going to do is protrude him. I need 2 hands. So, but first of all, let me push him down. I'm going to try to get him first. Get him first in here by squeezing this. There you go. I squeeze it to its full. See if I can drive this guy in a little bit to get to the metal part, which I do. There's not a lot of thread, so don't think that you're going to get a lot of thread turning. You might only turn maybe 5 turns before it fully engages. There you go. I think this is fully engaged. I think I'm getting the metal. There we go. There we go. Alright, so there we go. I got that one in there ready. See, I only did probably about 5 turns, really. Nothing more. All right, let's go and get the other side. So I guess we can work on the front. You can see here, this would help clamp it more if it had something here to clamp it, but unfortunately we don't. So we'll have to live with it. All right, let's check out this side now. Same way. This one's gonna have to take the same fatty bolt. So let me get that fatty bolt. See if I can get a chair here, I can angle it for you. See if this will work. You guys can see a little bit better. To see if I can bring it in or not. Hopefully don't block you guys, but at the same time I need to make sure I can get there comfortably. There we go. Give them a little bit more of a turn. There we go. The idea is to be able to see that metal fixture, and you can see here I'm squeezing them. I am putting some pressure in them, so I'm hoping our super glue is doing its job. But yeah, I can see them right now. You guys can see it too. Sort of coming out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, screw it by hand a little bit. Just get a feel for it. And then I'm going to come back here. Now it's kind of pinned in a downward position. So I got to be careful flexing him upward. But yeah, I can feel he's gripping now. So what I'll do is I'll take it and I'll turn it. Now knowing me, even though we're just testing this out, I'll probably still turn it to a position where it's upright. Like that. So anyway, so that one's done. So that's awesome. So you can see here, unfortunately this is not going to clamp yet. You can see there's still a little wedge here. It's unfortunate because that would probably help it a little bit more. I guess it wasn't a screw bolt area. It's probably like an interlock clamping area. Just like these guys are. They're like the little guiding. Well, this one has a hole for you to screw, but there's some guiding hooks and stuff like on these guys. So that's one that had it here. But unfortunately, you can see it broke off. So, all right, so here's the other main part here. This one we gotta get underneath. Let's see if I can try to do this guy. Pinpointing it. Now he's gonna be a little bit tricky. Oh, by the way, thank you for the 100 subscribers added on. It was very impressive. I didn't realize I had actually added more subscribers now. So we're at about almost over 1,700 already. So thank you for all my subscribers and people who share the same common interest in scootering. So that's pretty awesome. I appreciate you guys watching. I enjoy making these videos at times, and sometimes very rare. I just wish to get over it. You could probably tell by my breathing sometimes it's heavy. But early in the morning I usually love it because it gives me one thing, something to do. Here we go. So you can see here I'm trying to make sure I feel it before I just drive anywhere. And I think it's pretty solid. And you can't see it, unfortunately. I can't take it off back either, so just want to make sure you drive it straight. There you go. So lucky we got the small one. And you can see here, oh, as we're driving it, you want to maybe guide it a little bit just to help everything out. You can see here it's not on it. So let me back off. Even though this was tightening, I totally forgot to guide this little lip here. So how we guide is pretty much we have to push in a little bit on it. So let me see. I don't want to put any strain on it that I don't want to. All right, so there you go. Just want enough there for it to stay on. It might fall, but we'll see. Oh! Okay, so this guy right here, I want to make sure it's closing on both. I just want to make sure it's an even clamp. Okay, so here you go. I'm holding this guy right here. So more than likely, he's going to have to help us, or help him help himself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push in on this. And maybe what I could do is get this guy back. Again, this is just where we freshly super glued too. So if you look at, I'm putting pressure on both. So gotta be really careful. But it seems like the super glue is allowing us to flex. That's amazing. Normally super glue don't work too well on plastic. I guess they improved over the years. They're mostly a pretty good bonding agent now. Okay, you can see here this guy is tightening in. Okay, so there you go. So that's a really nice seal there. So let's see how this side looks with just this one. And I know this one is wedged over much more than this guy's doing for us. But let's see how this one is doing as well. Let's go and take a look at the other side. Get this guy on latch here. You can see here, this one actually flushed already. Look, nice and closed, see there? So I guess that little metal guiding is not too bad to miss. But the main thing is this last one here has to do the job. Now we want to do it quickly because there's so much pressure here. So we want to make sure that this guy gets his fair share too. So let's go and do that. Let's go and turn the steering wheel over. Alright, so we're short of a screw, a long screw, or did we bring them both over there? Oh, there's one on the floor. Because I knew I pulled out 4. So this is the last long screw here that would normally drive this in. So let's work on driving it in. Alright, so I get to sit down as well, thankfully. Alright, there we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try flex this in. And I'm going to put a screwdriver to it. I can sort of be in a position here to help hold it, but not too much, so bear with me. Alright. So this one I have a little bit more visibility to see if it goes in there or not. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Going to give it a squeeze while I'm tightening down. Once it's almost over, I'm going to give the center one a squeeze too. But it's not yet. I'm going to go and give this guy the final squeeze here at the bottom. That way he's riding it. Oh, there we go. You hear a snap, but that's just a plastic. But just be, I mean, that plastic not breaking, but lining itself. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Check this out. Very happy. But let's see what happens in a couple days, right? And see if it's our effect. So we're gonna do is we're gonna sand this a little bit, get it smoother. I think we might be able to hit it first with the, you know, maybe 200 or 150 is fine, it's almost the same. And then come back to it at the 800 grit. And then work our way. Only can see, yeah, this one's where we super glue, this is where we super glue. You can see here, it's nice and sealed all the way around. So as I'm turning it, these cables has issues too, but I think that, oh, look at this guy. Unfortunately, yeah, he didn't want to seal. So this is one of them. Maybe we have to dab it with some super glue when we're about to finalize it. That means it might be a one-time deal. If we do dab it with super glue, we'll do it probably afterwards. That way, every time we take it off, we'll have to break the super glue. So we'll just dab like one little dab right there. We're not going to put the whole thing with super glue because we do want to be able to take and remove these guys off as needed. But yeah, see, that is really nice. So other than this guy here not being able to hold himself, so what we'll do is we'll probably get some electrical tape when we prepare it, and then that way our finger's not holding this constantly. In fact, we could probably do it and then have it held. But yeah, that's the only side effects I see. Everything else is closed. You guys can see there for yourself. It's closed up. So we'll put a little dab here to hold this casing down. Let's go take a look at the other side. See that one's sealed nice too. So we might not have to use that epoxy glue just yet. Cause this one right here is strong. It's stiff. It's not even though it has no bolt support here. It's just all it was is the same thing here. So it has no problem. But so now let's go and inspect this guy. So you can see how much free play we have. So this guy can go back further, but there's no need to. I think the mirror is pushed back as far as it can go. And see that we can even turn the mirror. See, this is what I was afraid of. You don't have a solid base to go by. You can't do this without jittering the base. So over time, it's going to start wearing it out. And I think we're going to give it some more support too. By the way, when we drag that little wire, what do we call that little wire, like here, this little boot here. This little wire boot, when we drag it inside and then, you know, re-tie strap it with a small tie strap again. This looks like it's kind of bent, but it's not. It's just a reflection. I'm like, what the heck is this? Something new I didn't see. But yeah, it's just a reflection of the light. If I cover it, see, it's all dark again. So it's just a reflection angle. Beautiful though, isn't it? All right, it's coming along. So this was the main concern I had. Like, oh man, this was stiff before I even touched it. Now, but again, we do remove it. Let's go ahead and consider sanding this side down a little bit, because you can see how much is rubbing compared to all the rest of the body. See that? We're gonna sand this guy down a little bit so he can level up and allow this guy to be able to not put pressure on this if that's the case, you know. But other than that, I'm very happy. Look, this thing closes really well, you know, other than a little rendezvous here. It's sounding good. It's really good. So everything's looking pretty spiffy. You can see this is a little down arrow. In fact, we can use this as our measuring. You can see here. Let's see here. You can see how this brake here is kind of leveled a little bit halfway from this point. See, this guy's doing the same. See, he's doing the same for us. So we pushed, oh no, he's probably, because we have to push this guy up to really see. So there really is no way of telling this part how much down this is. But we can put the mirror and really see if it slants almost the same. So let's go and put our clean mirror that we just cleaned up. We might not have to put the adapter just yet. So here's our mirror. And where's that little adapter that we cleaned for our mirrors? Not this one. It's got to be somewhere. Can't wait to put our cup holder. Let's see. Oh boy. We cleaned it to put it away nicely, and yet we probably lost it. All the little screws in the bag or something. I'm not finding, unless we put it in here and we kind of got it out of the way just to make sure it's not, or we probably shoved it in here maybe. No. This is for the GoPro mount too, so you can actually interchange. If you were to take this off, you could put the GoPro on there or get another one of these. But I'm probably not going to be using the GoPro to probably mount this. We'll see though. Yeah, but I'm not finding, unless it's on there, right? No, it's not. You remember that bolt that we had that we cleaned that was rusted, that wouldn't let us screw in there? Oh, it's just like this, but a little smaller version of it. This is for the other side. Did we maybe put it in here? You might have maybe shoved it in here and not know it. No, it's not in here either. Here's our 800 grit sandpaper, our proxy. We'll put this guy in here just to protect him. Oh, it might be in here. I know I kind of shove things everywhere in multiple boxes. So I know I cleaned the stuff out pretty well and have it almost prepared. So it's not in there as well. Let's see if it's in this last setup here. All kinds of stuff in this guy. More GoPro, different mounts. So yeah, if he was to be clean, where would he be placed back at? Our tray is empty because unless it's in here. But I don't, unless, oh, these guys are for our 3 trio. Hopefully we don't lose it because he's the missing antidote here. Nope. If I was a mirror, where would I be and where would I hide? Knowing me, I'd probably put him somewhere safely to protect from losing it, yet I lose it. Might be shoved in here maybe. Let's see if there's anything here in our compartment here. No, these are our sockets. I don't think I'll just throw it in here. So he's more than likely somewhere floating around with all the other screws that are probably missing in action. But you think, oh, look at this. I'm holding this and wondering where the heck it is. It's already pre-mounted on here. That's how I am. So let me go ahead and prep this guy in here back. All right, so we can actually We're gonna do a light mount just to see where things are at on these guys. Okay, so let's do this real quick here. All right, so here we go. Okay, so here we go. There's our cup holder. And we'll even leave the stuff in there for a little bit more length. Okay, or more testing out the weight of what it can support. So this guy's gonna go in like right there. And try hold him with the camera. Okay. It's gonna go in between these guys. So we could take this off ahead of time, or we can spin it. It doesn't really matter to us. Or I can lower this to a point where this guy won't interfere. There we go, I'll do that. What I'm doing is twisting this guy elbow downward. We're gonna put this guy in here. It's a really neat setup, this ram mount. I'm very impressed with the quality of it and the stiffness of it than those other flimsy ones, you know. And let's see how our cleaning did. We did a pretty good job cleaning the rust off of that area. Could be better, but hey, could be worse or too. So let's go and start screwing this guy in. We're screwing him to the cup holder. There we go. So there we go. We're screwing him in. Now we wouldn't do this when we actually see. The thing about this guy is, see, a lot of people just use more washers, but what I think we could do is actually give it more thread. So what we do is we back this out a little bit, and then we turn this guy in. So what he's doing here is actually robbing the thread from the top, which is enough, because we don't want, see, the thing is we want this to be tightened, even with Loctite. So that means is we either, see, this is tight already. So what we gotta do is take a 4mm, let's take a 4mm, 14mm, sorry. We'll take a 14mm. And we're gonna go ahead and twist it tight. There it is, 14. Poopy poopy. I feel like this thing's gonna scratch the scooter if I leave it there too close. Okay, we're gonna go lefty loosey, but yeah, this is lefty loosey, so that's not gonna do for me. Okay. See that right there? He's not gonna go, and this guy's not gonna go anymore to be tightened. So what we could do is force this guy loosen, so it's gonna rob more thread from this guy. I think that might be a possibility that we can do. Okay, so either we lefty loosey this guy here, because these guys teeter-tot in the thread sharing from up top and bottom. So the idea is to get this guy tightened and this guy tightened. There we go. So I think it's going to be, no, almost. So I guess this is reverse. I'm going to get a feel for this guy real quick. See, now I got him all the way spinning the opposite side. So I got to figure out where is his weak area. Give him less thread, you know? Don't give him too much less thread or else he'll fall off. But I believe he might be in this vicinity here. See, there we go. I'm good at reversing it all the way to the other side, but I'm not finding it doable for us. I don't want to scrape the paint too much. Alright. Okay, again, am I tightening it? I'm tightening this guy, but this guy looks like he still wants to go. So I might have to do a lot more threading for this guy. We'll figure it out. If we need to put a washer, we'll put a washer to properly space a little bit more so it won't turn on. But we're going to just test out to get an idea of how this, see this right here? So we level the mirrors right now. Let's see from the top view. You can see that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an even turn. I'm going to put a down force here like this. All the way down. Okay, this is facing all the way down. Eared out, okay? I'm going to level it to where the hand grips are, sort of. Maybe a little bit back from the hand grip a little bit. Let's do the same thing with this one. I'm going to turn it all the way down. I'm not sure why I'm turning it down, but we'll see. We'll see in a second. See how this one is? It's kind of, let's say it leveled it. This one's like, it's leveled here. And let's see if we can get this guy leveled. Well, we could get him level, but the idea is to actually test out to see if his back frame is the same tilted angle. that we have here. Oh, you know what? Another way we can measure. I think I set everything aesthetically pleasing for this reason to really check. We're going to use the strata symbol. I think the strata symbol, it's probably with the S here. We have the open crease, right? So let's see on this side. I mean, you can't really tell still with the naked eye. It looks both fantastic, but you can see the S here. It looks like it's toward the T more, or is it? So this is a different, you know, it's a throttle one. So we won't be able to test just like that. But yeah, this will have the cup holder here. This will be a little bit more stiffer. So maybe we'll put a washer or something. Maybe even a lock washer. Keep it from spinning off. So you can see this guy right here. So the only way he's going to get more thread if we take it off the thread from here. See that? He'll spin off his thread here, but he won't get back downward. That's a problem. So let me see if I can maneuver him somehow to give more thread. See, what I'm going to do is I can drive this guy in, just like using our tippet. So what I'm doing is driving this guy in more. That means less thread on top of the mirror, but it might bend to our wheel, huh? There we go. Let's see this one here. Let's see if I got lucky. See the mirror there. Plenty of thread for him as well. You can see there's almost like a good ½ an inch. Okay, it's supposed to be right tidy. There we go. Once you feel it digging one, it should come. Let's see where it stops. It's like Wheel of Fortune here. Oh man, it stops right there again. All right, so we'll figure it out. We'll either have to gap it with some more washer or do something to it, but I kind of like the fact of how it parallels. Just got to bring it in over here more, you know? See that? It's forcing it as far as I can force it to go. Yeah, I don't want to put too much scrape on this guy. It was nice and black before I kind of touched him with the wrench, so what? Yeah, so he's supposed to be coming like this right here. But yeah, I mean, we start our scooter. See that? I still have enough room for my fingertip. Of course, it's going to be raised up here like this, right? Eye level, in case I want to give a toast or something. I have a built-in coaster and everything. So I'm not sure if this one's supposed to expose itself. So worst come to worst, there you go. Look, you don't have to turn anything around. It pivots. Isn't that the coolest thing? That's probably one of the neatest cup holders. Most cup holders are right here, right? This one can almost pull up to your face, or even, you know, pour for you or something. Or pour for a neighbor that's on the side of you here. Here's some beer, buddy. You can see like this. Great poupon. So I'm really pleased by this. So we'll see how this goes. So when I come back, we'll straighten out some more. And we'll see if this thing works extremely well or not. You can see this thing is amazing. You can just tighten it. I think this is another original one that we're trying to see. You can see here the washer actually goes into it too. It flushes. So when we get ready to tighten it down, we'll make sure we'll put it steadily upright like this or something. And this one is not moving no more. See, it's just a matter of tightening. So just don't like the idea people might be able to do this and take off with your stuff. So that's why I put a tie strap crisscross here this way. I know it looks ugly and tacky, but maybe the small one won't look too shabby. Well, anyway, this is Michael. What I'm going to do is continue on to the next video. And now that we got an idea what this one is, we're probably going to do the same thing and banjo bolt that one. But before we do that, let's go and open this guy up and see what really happened behind the scenes there while we fix that little wire harness to go and grip itself here. You can see it's hidden, so it's not the fact that I'm trying to aesthetically get it in there to be pleasing, but it will be nice too. But we really want to make sure this guy gives a nice firm hold to the backing plate and not depending upon the JB Weld alone. Because I know the JB Weld is the one that's doing it for us, but I'd rather have this guy, what it did before, even without the JB Weld, get a little bit more grip onto the bar surface. And even if we have to take it out and re-electrical tape it to get a little bit more thicker surface. Then after that, we're going to put the bar in mirrors. And I think it's going to look pretty damn sick. So, Michael from NCY Store, I'll check you guys out on the